Inside every one of us, we have the instructions for how to make our body. These instructions are our DNA, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Nearly every cell in our body has a copy of our DNA. It's mostly found in the very center of our cells, called the cell nucleus. DNA is really just a long line of code. The information is made up of only 4 different things, but it's the order in which they come which is important. The alphabet in English has 26 letters, and the order of these letters makes up different words. DNA is the same, but there are only 4 letters: A, G, C, and T. These are different chemicals, and they're the alphabet of DNA. Their scientific name is bases. This line of bases, this line of A's, G's, C's, and T's, make all the plants and animals in the world. The way it happens is like this. The information in the DNA is read by something called an enzyme. This enzyme then copies this information to RNA. This RNA is then used as the instructions for our cells to make proteins. Everything in our body, from our bones to our eyes to our hearts, is made from this process. A different order in the bases means that different proteins will be made, and a different animal or plant will be built. When a certain number of bases together do something, they're called a gene. So there might be a gene for eye color, for example. Scientists think that humans have between 20,000 and 25,000 genes. Each gene is made up of lots of these A's, G's, C's, and T's, lots of bases. Humans have billions of these bases, and they contain all the information needed to build us. 99% of the bases we have, we share with every other human. This is because we are mostly exactly the same. Only a tiny percentage of our DNA is different. The 4 bases A, G, C, and T connect to each other. A always connects to T, and C always connects to G. This means that a line of DNA will have its exact opposite connected to it. For example, a line saying AA, TT, CT, GG will be connected to a line saying TT, AA, GG, CC. The 2 lines are exact copies of each other. This means that both of them really have the same information on. The 2 lines are connected to each other in a spiral called a double helix. This is useful because it means that when cells divide, the 2 lines can both be used as the template. When the 2 lines divide, new bases come and connect to the open line and form a new double helix. Inside cells, DNA is found in the form of a chromosome. When cells divide, each new cell gets a new set of chromosomes, containing all the information necessary to make the animal or plant. In humans, there are 46 chromosomes. This is about average for animals and plants. A fly has only 8 chromosomes, but some fish and birds can have hundreds. One type of plant, a fern, has over 1,000. Only a small amount of DNA in our chromosomes is actually used to make us. Most of it doesn't really do anything, at least as far as scientists can work out. They think that a lot of it is DNA left over from our evolutionary history. It's DNA that we used millions of years ago, but don't use anymore. Perhaps in the future, we will understand what all this extra DNA is for. DNA is passed on from parents to children, and most of the time it's extremely accurate. Most of the time your genes will be a mixture of your father's genes and your mother's genes. The genes are not really mixed together though. You either get one or the other. Take eye colour for example. You either get your father's eye colour genes or your mother's eye colour genes. I said this happens most of the time because very rarely, very occasionally, there's a small mistake. When the DNA is copying itself, it very occasionally makes a mistake, and some new piece of code is created. Where you may have had AATG, there might be a mistake, and you might get AATC. This means that when this piece of code, this new gene, is read, a new protein will be created. This may be good and it may be bad, but this is how evolution starts. If this new gene gives the animal or plant an advantage, it will do better than the others, and this new gene will be passed on more often than the old one. Over millions of years of this, the animals and plants will change, and this is evolution.